Okay, so for this must-do assignment online, you're going to be focusing on creating Zentangles. Zentangles are, it's a copywritten term for a doodle, but they're basically a doodle using line and pattern repeatedly to create imagery, but it's more about meditation, focus, right? Because in order to create Zentangles, number one, we're using pen, usually like a nice micron pen, but for this, you're going to use whatever pen you have handy. And you're going to focus on this repeating visual element that creates a space for your brain to just kind of breathe, if that makes any sense. Zentangles have been around for a long time, but the idea of Zentangle as a copywritten term has been around probably for the last 15 years or so. Anyway, what we're going to do today is you're going to create different patterns using the step-by-steps that I have on this packet. And then these books that I have on the center table. I have a series of 6 different books that you can look through. Some are better than others. Like this looks like it'd be neat, but it's whatever. There's lots of different books that I have that you're welcome to use, and it gives you the breakdown. Some of them take massive leaps, while others, like the first 2 books here, The Joy of Zentangle and The Great Zentangle book, these have a lot more steps that kind of break down the process a little bit better. I would say my favorite of the books is this one. But there's, like I said, I got 6 different books over there that you can use. This one, again, is more about application of Zentangles. And then we have some that are a good mix of application of Zentangles and, well, this is actually where they got the ideas from. And then the breakdown and the step-by-step. Of course, you have your computer, and your computer can take you to all kinds of cool places like Pinterest, where there's tons of step-by-steps. So anyway, I have this worksheet that focuses on creating Zentangles, and then I didn't realize that my practice exercise heading was there. It really belongs over here, so right here. So I apologize, so this gets carried to the next one. Basically, Zentangles are a form of abstract drawing that uses repetitive patterns to create beautiful, intricate designs. They are not only visually appealing, but also serve as a form of meditation and relaxation. In this resource, we'll explore how to create Zentangles using one of the most fundamental elements of art, line. Remember that line is a crucial element. It's beautiful. It's the building block, that forms the basis of all patterns. In Zentangles, we use various types of line. And then remember, you want to use line variety. You want to use fine-tipped pen for your practice lines. Don't worry about your mistakes. There are no errors in Zentangles, only opportunities for creativity. Experiment with different line thickness, line variety. To add depth to your patterns, try combining different patterns in one Zentangle. For right now, you're going to do practice. And I think you can probably see where our aspire to do is going to be headed, right? You're going to have opportunities to use Zentangle in your aspire to do eventually, right? You're going to be practicing all kinds of cool stuff. So what you want to do first is you're going to want to recreate, and I got to be quiet when I do this, right? Recreate these in step-by-step ways, right? Of course, this one, again, has doesn't have to be exactly the same. You're just going to go through and create using line. And just go through the steps of creating in pen. I've got a lot of coffee in me, so you can see that I got a lot of wigglies here. And when I get to edges, I don't have to make them fit. In fact, it's nice if they go off the page, because that's just going to create, a different kind of a pattern, right? So these are going to get a little smaller out here. have them go into that area. And fill all these little gaps. But I'm not making these get like just smaller so they'll all fit in here. I'm just kind of letting it run off the edges a little bit. And once I've done that, then I can add some value to these, right? Mine's upside down now, but I can come in, and if you see, these are lined, so I could come in and add shading lines. Remember that from the 13 types of lines, right? You can add shading lines in between all of these little, we want to call them negative space or positive space. It's up to you. What do you think they are? Is the dark the positive or the negative? Remember, positive and negative when it comes to art and space does not mean good or bad. It just means the parts that we look at versus the parts that we see secondarily. So you're just going to go through and recreate some of these Zentangle patterns that I have for you in, well, you're going to do all of them. And then you're going to practice some that you come up with by either research online or in the book, one of these books that I've got for you. I'll probably just make some worksheets or some copies because the books get to be really popular. I do have a Pinterest board that I will link in the must-do assignment as well, where there's tons of different Zentangle patterns. Now, I'm just creating a pattern here. I'm not really getting into the Zentangle part of it, which is to be quiet and mindful and practice meditation, because I'm trying to tell you what to do at the same time. So it's kind of contraindicative, but that's okay. So when you're all done with one square, you can move on to the next Zentangle pattern. That's practice, and the next one, and the next one. So you can see how that kind of works, right? So the next one's a spiral rose, and then we have hugs. I only expect you to do this one hug, but you can do it here, and then you could try to do this one here if you want to, or you can make another square down here at the bottom. That's up to you. Use this worksheet how you will by practicing these Zentangles in pen. This one takes you step by step vertically. Draw it here. This one goes here. This one goes here. Trinity. This is more of Celtic design. So you can practice your Trinity like this here, or you can practice it like this here by just putting 4 of these Trinities together. You know, like you would take this and you'd rotate it so that this is your interior corner here, right? And then you would rotate it and do another one here and another one here, okay? Here's where you have 12 on here and 12 on this side just to practice, okay? Like I said, I will link to the Pinterest board for you. And that is your assignment for creating patterns with Zentangles. Have fun.